What's up, guys? This is Eric Slaven, bringing you some more content. This one is going to be a nice little video describing why you should live off the grid. And, there's a lot of reasons why you shouldn't live off the grid as well, but, we're doing the reasons why you should live off the grid. So, if that sounds interesting to you, just stay tuned, because we have actually been talking and planning for a while that's going to be one of our money moves in the future is, going to Canada or somewhere where we can buy property in an unorganized township. So it should be awesome. We're really excited, and there's a few steps that we're taking to prepare for it. Today we're just going to be talking all about it, talking why you should, and really what you're going to need to succeed in living off the grid, which isn't much. So stay tuned. That's all we got for today. The first reason you should live off grid, or the first pro of living off grid, is you can really just sit back and enjoy life. You can just live your life and, have minimal distractions. And when I say this, there's not so much going on. There's one task at a time that you have to worry about. And yeah, there's going to be multiple things on your mind, but you're going to execute one task and then move to the other. You get to use your hands, which is awesome. You get to stay active, but we'll get into that later. So going on to the second one, it kind of wraps in with number one just a bit. Like I said, I can work with my hands, which is awesome, and live a healthy lifestyle. And what I mean by that is I'll have a garden. We will have a garden. She's very excited about that. We'll have our own food. We'll have some chickens, hopefully. And with all that, you're going to be on your feet all day. So, you're going to get your heart rate up. You're going to be active. And on top of that, eating healthy foods that you grew yourself that, aren't too bad for you, because, you can eat unhealthy. I mean, you can overeat anything. But in this, scenario, we're only going to have fruits, veggies, we're going to have a lot of stuff. Just, nice protein with the meat, the chicken, all that. And we're going to be burning it off because there's going to be so many projects that, we're going to have to focus on and use our energy for. And, another reason, number three, is because we can live in nature's natural rhythms. And so, when you're in nature, you're basically, or when you go off grid, you're basically surrounded by nature. I mean, I guess, even in the city, you're surrounded by some nature, but this is literally, you're engulfed in nature, and you have to abide by nature's rules at that point. That being said, you can go through winter, you can go through all the seasons, really, and experience some changes, and you change with the seasons. You got to change what you do, you got to change the habits, you got to change how you live, basically, and you can look at that as a pro or a con. But the fact that you're always getting the switch up, you're always doing something new, you're always worrying about a new task at hand, you're never just fully chilling, you're never just at a state where there's nothing to do, or the things that you are doing, at least in my personal experience, I feel like a lot of things I do right now don't really matter.
Yeah.
And I feel like everything, I'm going to use my energy for things that actually matter to me and, help us in the future.
Yeah. We have talked a lot about this, and the reason it kind of all started was because Eric and I both didn't want like a normal 9-to-5 job. Like, neither of us wanted to be away from each other, and I always said that I wanted to be home, like, with my kids.
Yeah.
I never wanted to be out at work all day, and so then we kind of started looking into this, and it just looked like perfect for us.
Because at first, we contemplated going up north, doing all this, and just living in a cabin. But, living off the grid with, like, not connected to power or any of that, it just seems awesome, because basically it's like you're, just surviving. You're doing things that actually matter. You're doing things that you want to be doing because you have to do it to survive.
So I know everyone doesn't love that. Like, some people do just love, like, doing a desk job and getting money and then, just chilling, like, but I think people that have, like, a good drive to work would love this.
Oh, yeah. And, it's kind of, I don't know if there's a risk or what, but, with this, we're going to save money, which is awesome. But to go deeper, basically what's rooted down to me, what I want to get rid of is even caring about money, because, everyone in this world is just, literally obsessed with it. And it's like, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. And how awesome would it be to just be like, oh, I'm chilling and I don't really need too much money, and I can self-sustain. It's kind of, after I do a project or something, or after I build something, it's like you look at it and you're like, the function on it is awesome. Like, it's like I'm going to be able to use this, and like it's pretty rewarding. So we're not saying this is the right way, or this is the best way to do anything, because it's not. You got to find what you want to do, and this is just what we found. Like we said, it just didn't seem right to, once we eventually have kids and do all this stuff, like just progressing through life, we don't want to really have to worry about, like, it just doesn't seem right to me to have, be gone, the whole day and not really be able to see your kids that much.
Yeah.
Which, school, they'll have school, you gotta work around some things, but it's almost like I see parents like taking their kids out to restaurants to eat, and they're just literally just sitting on their phones and not even like talking, which is whatever, but I just feel like I want to be, have a nice family, have, just a strong connection and relationships. I feel like I can build strong relationships instead of having like all these other, that I have right now that don't really mean too much to me. And I kind of limited it down to just a few people, which, was chill. But, before, when I was in high school, and probably Hannah too, when she was in high school, it's like all these friends that I was making, it was awesome, and it was a learning period in my life. But at the end of the day, I don't know how many friends that I actually trusted. I'd rather have a select few people that I do trust instead of having a lot of friends that I don't trust.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know, you can have friends no matter where you live, so.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you live off grid, like, doesn't mean that you're not going to see other people.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want. I mean, you can...
Like, you're literally just, you do what you want. It's not like you have to follow these specific rules. Like, you just live how you want. And that's what we want. We want to be able to choose what we do. We want to be able to choose how we eat. We want to be able to choose, everything. Just
literally everything.
Yeah.
And we're not here to persuade you one way or the other, but, I see these videos online that people are talking about it, or people are actually doing it. And a lot of people I see in the comments, they are just like, oh yeah, like this is awesome. And they don't end up doing it. And I feel like it's pretty scary, and it's a new thing.
Yeah.
We're not even ready yet. I mean,
Yeah.
we could if we really wanted to, but right now we're trying to save up, trying to kind of not plan out too much, because I don't want to just be living in the future. I just want to, try to be in the present as much as I can.
Yeah.
But it's very exciting for both of us, so it kind of gets hard to not think about it or not plan and not think about, how it's going to be, because, we've wanted this for so long, and it's very exciting. And when the day comes, I mean, we're not picking this because it's, easy, and we're not picking it because it's harder. It's just what we want.
Yeah.
So I feel like some people could be like, oh, this is way harder than a 9-to-5 job. Like, you're going to be working way more. And yeah, maybe that's so, but when you look at it, it's just like, is that work? Because you love it so much.
Yeah.
And yes, it's work, of course, but, I don't know if you guys have ever done anything, but we've both had experiences where we do something we love, and it just doesn't even feel like work.
Yeah.
And that's like a cheat code. You can just keep doing stuff that you like and, sustain a healthy life doing it.
I remember one time my mom told me, she was like, any job you have, like, there's always going to be things, like, that you hate about it. And I was like, I feel like I don't want that. I don't want parts of my life that I don't like. Like,
doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's going to be ups and downs, of course, but at least you picked those ups and downs. Instead of like, a lot of people, they ask me if I'm going to college right now. They ask me what I'm doing, and it's almost just like the only route that older people see, or really anyone sees right now. And that's totally fine, but it's just not my route, because people do all sorts of different things, and this seemed dope to us. And, if college seems awesome to you, do it, because then you can have an awesome life.
Yeah.
If you want. And you can have an awesome life if you like doing other stuff. But you got to figure out, I had to go through the barrier of just having other people's, thoughts or opinions not affect mine.
Yeah.
Because it would get to the point where I would, stress about what other people would think, what other people would say, all that stuff. But in reality, it's, why does it matter if this is what I want to do?
I think it's sometimes really hard in, like, our society to kind of not do what you are, like, typically are supposed to do. Like, I feel
not
like...
Not conforming, basically.
Yeah, I feel like when you do school, you finish high school, and then you're just kind of expected to go to college. Like...
You have no time in between, really. Just, like, you're straight from high school to college.
And then you just... And then people go to college, and then they still don't even know what they want. And then, they just end up, like, in this, like, life that they never really wanted. You know, just because society kind of pushed them into it, I feel like. But, I mean, I know it's different for everyone, but I feel like that would happen to me. I feel
Yeah.
like I would get pushed into something that I wouldn't actually like.
Yeah,
and
just
I don't
because
want
it's
that.
considered, we've talked about this, me and my dad, me and Hannah, a lot of people, just because it's considered the safe route or just because everyone's doing it, it doesn't make it the right way.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen it in history, like it doesn't, just because everyone's doing something, doesn't mean it's the right way, but the opposite doesn't, vice versa, it doesn't mean it's the wrong way either.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no right or wrong way, you just got to find yours, but,
Yeah.
it's pretty easy to be, sucked in. I just went through, I've had my experience to base it off of, going through school, it's like, I would hear all these people and it's like, oh, their dad or their mom, they're just their parents and probably grandparents too. They just basically plan the kid's whole future. And even if they're not forcing them to do it, they just, reward them for, thinking a certain way.
Yeah.
And even though if it's not them, they, the kids they don't really know better. They're like, oh yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
if this is what, gets me praise or if this is what, makes other people happy, then why not do it?
Yeah.
And I love making other people happy, but not at the cost of my happiness. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because, I want to live how I want to live, plain and simple.
Yeah.
I don't know. When did you, growing up, how did you, I don't know, what would you, think? Like, I don't know, when did you first?
Think about living off grid.
Yeah. Because I've
So,
thought about it a lot. But
I never even really thought of living off grid. I always thought of just, living out in the middle of nowhere, which is basically living off grid.
Yeah.
But I mean, ever since I was little, I always wanted a farm. My papa had a farm, and I always said I was gonna buy it once I was older. But I've always loved gardening. I've always loved farming. I've always loved being outside, and I feel like this is just perfect. This is exactly what we want.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's a lot of things in this society that we don't really like. It's just it's stressful. It's very stressful.
And even if, we're our own experiment, our life is our own experiment. So let's say we get there and we've had all this hype built up in our head and we don't like it, then there was no point in stressing before, but also it doesn't mean that, we can't just go back and, pursue an actual, what normal life or any different path that we want.
Yeah.
But we're pretty set on this just because I've actually done, or we've both done so much thinking about it.
Yeah.
And I don't know, we both love outdoor activities, being on our feet, really just doing work because we need to, not for someone else, just doing it for ourselves and then seeing really the reward. Instead of instant gratification, living here, it's, it might be a slow and steady process, but then it almost makes it more rewarding to see, the finished product or something that you did, even if it was really hard to do.
I feel like it is so awesome to be able to just do your own things and grow your own food and make your own things that whatever you need. I feel like it's so much more satisfying than just getting the money and then having someone come build it for us, or just buying things from a grocery store, anything like that. I feel like it is so much more rewarding to do it by yourself. But I know not everyone's like that. But I do. I like little projects, and I like things like that. I think it's fun. There is really nothing I can think of that I wouldn't love about off-grid living. Maybe the bathroom situation might not be my favorite, but
I mean,
we don't know because we still have to figure that out.
And I just kind of go through a mental check in my head, living a whole life that I wouldn't like compared to some things that, I don't know. It's like a little trade-off. We know that no place that we go is going to be perfect because I don't know if perfect exists at all. You know what I mean? Because there's always going to be struggles, but I feel like those struggles, if we get to choose them or we kind of know what we're getting into and choose our struggles and actually kind of, learn to enjoy them just because it's part of the process. Then, what's so bad about that? I know we went on a little tangent there, but we're going to get back on track. Hopefully you guys do enjoy just hearing about it because, when we were thinking about what we wanted to do, it would have been awesome to, see behind the scenes of what, people are actually thinking when they're about to make the move. So going on to number 4, or maybe number 3, I really forget now. It's really just, I like escaping the fast-paced lifestyle. Because I feel like, that we're going to be doing stuff all the time, but it's almost just a slow, there's not anything that I have to stress about that I don't want to stress about. There are things that I have to do, but it's not going to be worrying about stuff that really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I kind of said that already, but it's kind of different just because this fast-paced lifestyle, here at least, just kind of, I don't know. It gets to me. Like, everything's, even, like, just traffic, like, how much cars, everything's packed. And I know COVID's going on, but, I kind of, like, the lockdown, I mean, it sucks in a lot of ways, but also it's, like, it's kind of just chill. I mean, you don't have to go anywhere, and...
Yeah.
I don't know.
We're both kind of... Actually, it's weird, because Eric's pretty extroverted, but I am, like, a crazy introvert. I hate people. But I feel like we both don't really want a life of, like, a ton of people, and, you can live like that off-grid and have people around, like, you are still gonna have neighbors, even if they're kind of farther away, like, you can still go visit people. It's not like you're shut off from the world, but...
I mean, you can choose if it is, because... But it's not like, I'm like, oh, I hate people, I hate this. It's actually, I enjoy people, and, talking to people, but especially, like, in where I'm at, and we're both at, a lot of people are focused on things that I don't really have an interest in.
Yeah.
And whether that's college or really anything, we don't share so many similarities in that area. So, I can have an awesome conversation with people, and, it's not to say I don't like them, but it's kind of weird, because it's almost like I'm faking when I don't really, like, I'm having a conversation, I don't have any similarities whatsoever. But, there's similarities here and there, but I really think, going somewhere where people, have common interests, it's going to be, a little switch up. And, maybe even Hannah, even though she's introverted, might find that, talking to people there, chill people, who knows?
Yeah.
Or maybe they're not chill.
Yeah, you never know.
But... I don't know. It's hard, to label things like that. But at the same time, we're both excited.
Yeah.
It's just a decision at the end of the day. We can always make a different decision, because that's what life is, making decisions. And basically, that's all we got. I mean,
but it's okay.
So if you guys did enjoy this, give it a thumbs up and subscribe as well, because we're going to be doing more stuff like this if you guys enjoy. It's really fun to us. This was kind of just an introduction video, just kind of telling you guys that, we want to do this, and a couple reasons why, and, some pros. If you guys want more, leave some ideas in the comments. We can talk all about it, because, we love talking about this, and, it's very fun for us.
Yes.
There's going to be different steps along the way, and hopefully you guys will be there with us through all of it. Should be fun, should be good, but that's all for today. Catch you in the next video.